This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
A Freilichen Purim here in Kehilas, Tiferes, Mordechai. We like to preserve all authentic Jewish customs. And there's one that has fallen out of disuse in some Kehilas, so we would like to be mechazik this minhag Yisrael. In the olden days, in days gone by, the minhag was that in all Kehilas, they would make a Purim Rav, a Purim Shamish, a Purim Rosh HaKahal. What was the reason for this? Why would they have these special positions? Says Rabbi Yitzchak Isaac of Zidichayv, very simply, V'nahapaychu. On Purim, everything is tipsy-turvy, everything is upside down. So on Purim, we even have a new Rav. But Rabbi Yosef Chaim Sonnenfeld, it's cited in the Sefer Pardes Eliezer, in Perek Zayin, that since the halacha is Chayiv inishil besumei bepuraya adla yada ben arhaman lebarach Mordechai, so if anyone has to be mekayim that halacha, certainly the Rav has to be mekayim that halacha. The only problem is there's another halacha in Erev Daf Samach Daled, that shikar al yoira, someone who's drunk can't paskin. So in order to remind the Rav that on Purim his duties have been suspended, we appoint a special Purim Rav, because the Rav cannot paskin on Purim. Now, there's another meaning behind Purim Rav. It's a little bit of a lamdus, given by Rabbi Chiel Michal Hibner in the Sefer Shalosh Teshuvos Levushay Michlal. It's also quoted by the Tamei HaMinhagim. Basically, it's based on the Gemara Bava Basra on Daf Kuf Samach Daled Amud Beis, that the Gemara says that if in year one a person is a melech, he's called Arkan, king. In the second year, he's called Digun. He served the second year. So the Gemara asks, well, what if he was demoted and promoted again? So the Gemara says, in that case, Rabbi Yirmiyah says, he's called Arkan Digun, meaning king who is demoted and reinstated. Well, the Svarim bring, Adar is Rosh Tevois, Arkan Digun, someone who is demoted and promoted. So therefore, every year, we appoint a new Purim Rav. Or it could be the same guy as last year. Now, in our case, you're not going to be able to tell if it's the same guy as last year, because the makeup and the get-up will, it's not identifiable, obviously. But the reason for the Purim Rav is Adar is Rosh Hashanah, Arkan Digon. Demotion, promotion. One more very interesting idea. B'kitzur, the Gemara tells us in Megillah Daf Zayin Amud Beis that Rav Ashi was sitting before Rav Kahana, and they were waiting for the Purim Suda, and the Rabbanan didn't come. So Rav Kahana wanted to know, where is everybody? Are they busy with Sudas Purim still? This was in the night. So Rav Kahana said, well, actually, you can't eat the Purim Suda at night. So Rav Ashi said, don't you know, Rav Kahana, that Purim Suda Shachal B'Layla Lo Yatsa Yidei Chayvasai? So there's a whole discussion the Gemara has, whether you're allowed to eat the Purim Suda at night, you're not allowed to eat the Purim Suda at night. So Rav Ashi tells Rav Kahana, Amar Le Amar Rava Hachi. This is what Rava said. Rav Kahana then studied what Rav Ashi taught him 40 times. Now let's get the facts straight. Rav Kahana is the Gadol Hadar, he's the Rebbe. Rav Ashi was the student at that time. And Rav Kahana learned from Rav Ashi 40 times. So basically we see that on Purim, the Rebbe is supposed to learn from the Talmud. Rav Kahana learned from Rav Ashi. And actually in the Purim story, Esther, the student, ordered Mordechai of how to conduct Klal Yisrael. So we see there's a certain hanhaga on Purim, based on the idea that how can we tell what a person's all about? Adam Nikar, B'kaisai, B'kisai, Ubakasai. Person's recognizable by his drink. That's obvious on Purim. We could tell by how much a person drinks. Person's recognizable by his pocket. How much Matanas Lavyonim he drinks. But what about B'kasai? What about his anger? How do we test a person by his anger? The answer is, we appoint a successor. We appoint a substitute, and we see how he handles it. This way on Purim, we could tell if how a person is based on his wallet, based on his I already forgot because of the based on his kois and based on his challenger. So this is another reason for the Minhag Yisrael Torah of appointing a Purim Rav. But in years past, we've said that Purim is like a page out of the future, where Kulam Yadu I see, and V'umala ha'aretz deya k'mayim layam mechasim. So on Purim, everybody's a Rav. So we would like to introduce Purim Rav, Tafshin Pei Daled. This is an individual. We gave him a bracha just 30 days ago. We said Zeh HaKatan Gadol Yiyeh, and we see in just 30 days he's elevated himself from being the Purim Katan Rav to being the Purim Rav. So without further ado, Yamim al Yemei Melech Daiseh Shaisav Gemay Darvada
Maze, was ist das? Okay. What do I do with this? Okay. Feilchem Purim. Chazdei Hashem, I made it here with my 1 horsepower buggy without Waze, because as you know where I come from, we don't have cell phones, right? So we don't have all these issues of having to get cell phone charging stations for our shuls, v'chulu. Anyways, Shkarach Rabbi Glatstein for the Purim Kiddush Club Kibud, Shkarach Tesar Mashkim for the Shibud. I just want to make a public service announcement before we begin, because quite a few Yechidim came over to me and asked me the same shayla. Haimish Purim Rav. How do I make Kiddush on Purim if I don't have Yain? We shouldn't know of such things, but Purim Torah hi v'lil mod on the tzarech. So now that we're on Purim Torah anytime, I'm going to demonstrate for the Olam. Sarmashkim, can you pass me the bulkala? Thank you. Okay, so you take the bulkala like this, you make Kiddush as I will on the Yayin soon, and then you just down the roll, like you do by Shal Shuddis when you're not hungry. Now, I want to talk about Safam. No. Not mustaches, languages. Let's not get lost in translation. As the Olam over here and in the video camera knows, the Rav travels all around the world, and Mamish Apella, he's picking up and making kinyanim on new lashonos wherever he goes. And now, b'siyata d'shmaya, the Svarim HaKadoshim of the Rav are being published in Shivim lashonos. Why? To bring the redemption closer. I have 4 pshatim in this. I call it the Arba lashonos shagula. Pshat number 1. Because of the inyan, you're listening? Because of the inyan of Dibra Torah, Kiloshem B'nei Adam. See, since the time of Migdal Bavel, when Hashem made the Shivim Lashonos, we're trying to get the Torah to everyone. As it says in the Torah Akdosha, Hoil Moshe Baris HaTorah Hazois. I'm told it's me. I don't have, Mar Mekoyim sheets, where I come from again. No copy machine, printers, v'chulu. Anyways, it says Rashi and says Svarim HaKadoshim. Moshe Rabbeinu explained the Torah in Shivim Lashonos. Others say, no. Moshe didn't explain Shivim Lashonos. Rather, Shivim 70 is the gematria of Soy, referring to the secrets of the Torah. So from here we see Rabbi say, Nichnas Yayin Yotzo Soid means when you drink Yayin, not Purim, you have to speak out Purim Torah. Koloshem B'nei Adam. Lishna China, Pshat number 2. Dover Yofa Be'iton. You know how when you learn something, it's zis, as it says in Shir Hashem Devash V'chol of Tachas L'Shenei. She leaves a tam tov in your mouth. But when you're able to connect what you're learning to the zman that you're in, now it's tam levolach. Amish a kiss from Hashem. Here we are sitting and learning about translating to Shivim Lashonos on Purim, and the Megillah talks about it time and time again. Every time a letter leaves the palace, Kich Sabon V'chol Shina Ayin Sham. Now, what separates the Ktanim from the G'daylim and really catapults people to greatness is learning and knowing Shivim Lashonos. By the way, speaking of Ktanim, I was amazed how the Rav got the Katan Adar to give the Haskama on the little Purim book. Amazing. The one with the Safin Berura, Le'aleinu. Anyways, here we have 2 people who learned Shivim Lashonos and ended up second in command. First is Yosef HaTzadik, who became viceroy of Mitzrayim, and the second is Mordechai, who became Mishnah LaMelech. Also, they both got rings. Yosef from Paray, Mordechai from Achashverosh. So with the Rav coming out in Shivim Lashonos, I'm sure you're going to get many rings from people all around the world to come speak. Abi Azgaya. Lishna China, Pshat number 3. This is already worth the price of admission. Here's a riddle for the Olam. What's the worst Lashon out of all the Lashonos? Lashon Hara. Very good. What's the best Lashon? Lashon HaKiddush. This one. And what's the most chashuv lashon? You're not going to get this. No. Lashon shel argaman. If you find this lashon, it's yours, says the Heilige Mishnah in Elam Metzias. Mamash Inyan the Yoma with the Daf Yomi talk about Davar Yafa V'ita. And who's the Tana who holds finders, keepers, losers, weepers? Reb Meir. Aha! Now we're speaking the Rav's language. You know, by the way, one of the ways to bring the Gula quicker is to say something b'shem Oimrei, right? So let me tell you a Mordechai of Vart I heard over b'shem the Frierdiker Purim Rav Chacham Rafael, the one with the curly mustache, Hashem Yerachem. Anyways, he says like this: Mamash Mordechai, Reb Meir is a descendant of none other than Adam Arishan. And by us making Kiddush Shal Purim, we're being mistaken the chait of Adam Arishan who made Kiddush Erev Shabbos according to Reb Meir's pshat that the fruit was grapes, and this tikkun is going to bring the Gula closer. Mamish Moyedek. Lishna Achina, pshat number 4, this is a big one. Your great-great-grandmother Nebuch must have cried a lot for you to have to hear this pshat. So last year, the Olam had the schos of having the Mekubal Devei Eliyahu come for bring Purim Zmirs, Mamish Mishten Neginasam, as they say. Yeah, the one with the braided mustache, Leilenu, like Miriam Megadella Seir. Anyways, not many people know this, but many years ago, the Mekubal put out a mystical sefer. It's out of print, very, very hard to get. But my dear Chaver, Dr. Gedalia Schwartz, managed to get a hold of it and Uber it to my house all the way from Norfolk, Virginia. I got it, mamish, as I was leaving my house to come here. Chazdei Hashem, and made it. And here it is. It's called Mekublani Mi Beis Eliyahu. And I was skimming through it as I came here. And very interestingly, he talks about this shot, this Indian of Lashonis. He says like this, you know, if you take the Shivim Lashonis, plus the 3 Lashonis that Avram Avinu fed the Malachim. Do we have any accountants in the house? What do we have? We have 73 Lashonis, which is the gematria of Ad. Ad v'loy Ad bechlal. Right? So now from here he learns how much you need to drink in order to be Yotze Ad de lo yoda. It's deep stuff. I don't really understand 100%, but it's not for now. What I do want to bring your attention to, what is Nagea to you, why I made Gedalia get this, is because he brings down a very interesting leadership shot. Whether do we sit or stand for Kiddush on Purim? So the Megillah says, "V'hamelech v'haman yoshvu lishtais." So Minhag Medina is to sit. But what are we going to learn from Achashverosh and Haman? What to do? Nah. So lechatchila we stand for Kiddush. But Lemaisa we're going to sit because Eliyahu Navi plays a role in the Purim story, as we all know. Right? Now, what 2 things belong to Eliyahu? The kois shel Eliyahu and the kiseh shel Eliyahu. So we assume he's going to sit on his chair and make kiddush on his becher. Now, so for actual bracha, we're going to sit. But to be yotze l'chaladeis shitos ta'amim and hagim, without going into it, now we're running out of time. We're just going to. You'll follow my lead, and in the merit of this Kiddush may Eliyahu come and be mevasa the geula b'karav mamish. So now, while the Sarah Mashkin pours the yayin, I'm just going to tie it back into the beginning on the words Hoyel Moshe Bayer Satayra Azois. Says the Yalkut David, Hoyel is the same letters as Eliyahu, meaning to say Eliyahu Bayer Satayra Azois is going to explain the Torah, all the Tekus, and all the Purim Torah that he didn't chap, v'chulu v'chulu. Okay, shkoch. All rise. Okay. Sochur is Yom Shabbos lekachoi, sheish is Yomim tavoid, v'osisam akel legogecho, lo yizosim damim beveisecho, v'ishorecho v'hoyoim, shomayat ishmuel mitzvah yisayah shonachim mitzvaveschem, hayom tamzeinu, hayom tevocheinu, v'abrocho, amshulash v'atayra, ksuv al anisim v'apulkum, v'agvulis, v'alshuhis, v'alneflois, v'alnechomis, v'alnechomis, shall seize a love I say no by Yomim Bazman Hazet Vienus Hasum Smechim Las Ritzain Koinam Payala Mess Shipula say a mess Kato Yitzrov Yadei Yitzrov Game Basov Dom Svaldei Akine Moro Dever Schin Parad Arba Moish Leisha voice Shnei Luchos Abris Echad Elekenu Huavinu Humakenu Mashinu Yashvenu Racham Moshin Zeinei Kolchoi Liois Koholish Seleb Vesoi Yadaber Aleim Aleinu Zechu Shetehem Shemecha Shalom Aleichem Aleichem Shalom Shalom Aleichem Aleichem Shalom Shalom Aleichem Aleichem Shalom Tov V'Brocha Chaim V'Sava V'Yishu Anecha Masha Zevaru V'Agola Slicha V'Cha V'Cha V'Rama V'Atzala Yamoy La Yudem V'Yisayro V'Simcha V'Sazon V'Kokei T'Yilanu Kois Yeshua Yismael Koi V'Yosef Chesed L'Mshichoi L'Dovid Uzaroy Yadoi Lom Oise Shalom V'Moimo V'Yase Shalom Aleinu V'Akol Yisrael V'Yimeru Amen Savri Magnon L'Chaim Baruch Atah Adonai L'Mechaylom Borei Pri HaGofen Oilem gekommen Hamadashin Shkoyer Freudige Pieren
Good. I think we have the best
Yeah.
I'm crying from laughter.
Good, we need laughter on the video.
Wow, beautiful. Awesome.
Very good.
So now we have a kiddush, we have Zmiris, we're getting...
How did you memorize that?
I know, it's ridiculous that you
What did you? That's Mamish go. You wrote this. You wrote this.
Yeah. He wrote the Purim Katan, but this one I wrote. That was good also.
This is good. I know.
You
I did this Purim Zmiris last year also.
The Kiddush. The Kiddush was from last year.
What? No.
This Kiddush Nusach.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.